worked really hard for this. I'm not going to do stupid things with it.
That just seems fairer, just because someone has the wherewithal to become a billionaire.
The government will then control, you can't pull it out until you're this age. It's just like, and
so it occurs to me as we talk about you and your story and rags to riches, blah, 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 right? This sounds like a Broadway musical suddenly. Woodbury, you're in a different tax bracket, as they like to say, What are your feelings on taxes, incidentally?
It's kind of frustrating. It's frustrating because I feel like I've worked really hard to get to this point. I've struggled through this system, and I'm not upset that I'm paying more taxes now. I'm making more money. I should pay more taxes, but by percentage, that just makes no sense to me. To pay I love the law of tithing. It's 10%. Whether you have $10 or $10 million,
right.
It's 10% is 10%,
Yeah.
and I love that. And I feel like that should be our tax system. I look at and I don't follow politics, but how could I not notice that Biden wants to raise the highest tax bracket up to 48% or something like that? And I just think, I've worked really hard for this. I'm not going to do stupid things with it.
Right.
But Biden thinks, well, you're going to buy dumb things. Us, the government, we're going to spend the money a lot smarter than you are, so give it to us because we do smart. The government does stupid things with their money. The government's in debt. You look at this pandemic that we've had and the shutdown and the stupid stimulus stuff. They sent me a check. Why did they send me a check?
Yeah.
I didn't need it.
Right.
And they send people a check or income. Like a buddy of mine was telling me $25,000 was one of the checks he got. I'm just like, so the government's telling him not to work. The reason that the reason that these people needed stimulus is because the businesses were shut down. So the government shut them down, had to pay them stimulus, and now they don't want to go back to work. So the government's causing all these problems. They don't know how to manage money. When if they have these tax dollars, they could have said, let's send everyone masks, or let's send everyone hazmat suits so they don't have to close down their business. It's like, let's put that money towards the vaccine that we were working on. And it's like, they didn't. It's just, let's just give people money, and let's take the people that are smart with money and let's charge them 50%.
Right. It doesn't make sense to me either. I have to agree with that. The idea of a flat tax, like you say, like tithing, a tenth or whatever, it would be more, of course, but that just seems fairer, just because someone has the wherewithal to become a billionaire, and just because they were smart enough to avail themselves of a capitalist society and a structure that allows them to make $1 billion or more, why would they be punished for that? In the sense that,
exactly.
Well, you have more, so we're going to now charge you 40, 45.
But
we're going to make you Finland, or Sweden, or one of those, that's very socialistic, just very much everyone pays the same flat tax, but it's half of their income. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, we all have free health care. There's pros and cons.
It relates to the conversation we've had about entitlement, because it's everyone that gets their job and they've committed and they're only making a certain amount that they've contracted for, but they see, there's these people that are billionaires or millionaires, and they should pay higher taxes. That's not fair. Yeah. They say it's not fair. And I disagree. I've worked really, 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 really hard to get here, and I've been strategic about it. And then, here's another thing that maybe this is a different tangent, but tax deferred plans, put money in a 401k, put money in an IRA. The whole premise behind that, look, let's just take a dollar amount, $10,000. If you put that $10,000 into this plan, you can get a tax deduction now, so that you can pay it later at a lower tax bracket. It's why would anyone want to be in a lower tax bracket later? We're supposed to be advancing and progressing. I'm not going to be in a lower tax bracket down the road, so why would I want to defer my taxes? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But if Biden raises taxes to 48%, I want to pay my taxes now before they...
Well, we'll see how long that lasts, but things are crazy right now. Speaking of retirement and retirement income and being an entrepreneur, I mean, what does that look like for someone like you? I mean, what are you looking for in terms of retirement income? Do you use those services?
I don't
Do you have an
have-
accountant?
I'm trying to be coachable to the advice of my accountant, and we're talking things maybe like a Roth 401k or things like that. Mm-hmm. But I've got assets and business that bring in revenue, right, and I could always sell an asset or something if I needed money. And so putting money into a 401k like that, I'm basically considering doing that because right now I've got money just sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
And it might as well be somewhere else. But the fact that the government will then control, you can't pull it out until you're this age, it's just like, and I don't need the tax benefits of that. It works for most people, but it definitely doesn't work for me. Why would I want to defer my taxes until I'm in a higher tax bracket?
Yeah.
Because when I worked for World Financial Group, that's what we learned and preached, is you want to get tax deferral because you're going to be at a lower tax bracket. And maybe that is the case for somebody that works a 9-to-5 W-2 job, then they retire at 65, their home is paid off so they don't need as much income, and so you're planning to have less income in retirement, and then that would make sense to defer your taxes because now you're in a lower tax bracket.
Right.
Let's just get rid of all that nonsense and have everyone pay 20% tax. I'll pay 20%, you pay 20%, they pay 20%, and you pay 20%.
Yeah, it's a widow's mite, whatever it is. A widow's mite is everything. But but 20% is, it's all in its scale. In what way do they get burned out? Burned out doing the videos?
There just comes a point where the grind of YouTube, it is exhausting, but I've kind of been given the cold shoulder, so I'm just learning their system and I'm going to create it myself.